Peah, Perek of Zion, Mishnah Vav. We're going to deal with Ravai. That's what we pronounce it, Ravai. But before we talk about Ravai, we first have to talk about something else. We first have to talk about a halacha called Maaser Sheni. Maaser Sheni essentially is, well, let's read the psukim. The Torah says, Aser ta'aser et kol tvuat zadecha ayotzei sadeh shana shana. First, second, fourth, and fifth years of the Shemitah cycle. 1/10 of your produce gets taken off for Maaser Sheni. Okay, what do you do with it? Aser ta'aser, you take off a tenth. Va'achalta lifnei Hashem Elokecha b'makom asher yivchar l'shakein shemo sham. Maaser degancha tiroshcha b'yitzarecha v'korot b'charcha b'tzonecha. What you do with it is you take it to eat lifnei Hashem Elokecha. You take it to eat before the Lord your God. Sorry, there I made it bigger. Okay, in the place that you choose, in God's place, in Yerushalayim. So the Torah says that each year, you're 2 out of the 3 years of the cycle, or 4 out of 7 Shemitah cycle, you're taking off Maaser, 1/10 of your produce, and you have to take 1/10 of your produce to Yerushalayim to eat there when you're Ola L'Regel. That's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. So what do? You can't carry it out because it's too far. So therefore you can transfer the Kedusha, the sanctity of your Maaser Sheni onto, with money. Then you take that money and go to the place, to which we know is Yerushalayim. You can use this money now to buy any food you want. Any food, any drink. Enjoy as much as you want. Okay? Basically, everyone who came on Aliyah L'Regel had a prepaid credit card with a huge amount of money on it that they then had to spend in Yerushalayim, which obviously guaranteed that if you were in Yerushalayim, you had plenty to eat and everyone was having a great time. Okay, you can imagine the shopkeepers probably charged a little more than they did in Tel Aviv. Anyway, there's another halacha that when you redeem, the Torah says in Vayikra Chav Zayin, this is called chomesh. When you redeem, you add a fifth. You can't just say, oh, here's $1 worth of oranges, 10 shekel worth of oranges. Rather, you have to add a fifth, which is a fifth, I think, milabar. I'm almost sure, meaning external fifth. So you have to add 25%, because if I pay $12.50, then it's 5/4 of the original price. From his maaser, he adds a fifth. In addition, there's a halacha called biur maasrot. We actually just did this Erev Pesach because it's a Shemitah year. On the 4th and the 7th years, after the 3rd year, when you finished taking off the Maaser, you gave it to the ger and the Levi, you gave all the Maaser. It's called biur maasrot. I have to do biur. I have to destroy any maaser. You can't keep it in your house forever. So every 3 years you have to get rid of it. I gave it to the Lavi, etc. And that's what's called the vidui maasrot. So there's a halacha in Maaser Sheni. We just look at this chart. It looks like a little much. There's something called yesh chomesh ubiur. There is a chomesh. You have to add a fifth when you redeem. And there's biur, and you also have to remove it from your house every 3 years. In addition, Maaser Sheni is called mamon gavoha. Even though you are taking it to Yerushalayim and you are eating it, it's mamon gavoha. It belongs to God, in essence. Okay? He tells you, I give it to you, take it to Yerushalayim to eat. So therefore, there's also the halacha of Maaser Sheni is, there's no matnot aniyim. It doesn't belong to you that you can give it to the aniyim. So therefore, there's no matnot aniyim, there's no peret and ololot. When I'm harvesting Maaser Sheni, when I'm harvesting that produce, if I drop some, if there's ololot, who does it go to? It goes to the balabait. It goes to the owner. Why? It doesn't really go to him. It's God's, and God says, take it to Yerushalayim and eat it there. Okay, with that introduction, with all the introduction about Maaser Sheni, now we turn our attention to Kerem Ravai. We call it Kerem Ravai. It's called Neta Ravai. Neta Ravai, Kerem Ravai is the produce of the 4th year. You plant v'chitavor la'aretz, and you come to the land. It's a mitzvah tzluya ba'aretz. Unetatem kol eitz machal. So I have now a mango tree in my backyard as we speak that is now in the 4th year. Va'araltem arlato. It's called orla. Orla is forbidden. Et piryo shalosh shanim yiyeh lechem arelim lo yeyacheh. For the first 3 years, you're not allowed to eat the produce, you're not allowed to eat the fruits of the tree. Ubashana haravi'it, but the 4th year, yekol piruyo, kodesh hilulim la'Hashem. This is an important pasuk. Kodesh hilulim la'Hashem, I'll highlight it even. Okay, it's holy, hilulim, praise to God. Okay, so there's kedusha. We take kerem ravai to Yerushalayim. You eat it like you eat Maaser Sheni. So says the Mishnah, kerem ravai. But what about the other halachot? What about the halachot? So we see it has kedusha. You take it to Yerushalayim. But what about chomesh and biur? And what about peret and olalot? Is kerem ravai or neta ravai? Neta ravai and kerem ravai are the same. Neta ravai is any tree. Kerem ravai is in a vineyard. Obviously, they're the same. So our Mishnah is going to discuss exactly this issue. Is kerem ravai and neta ravai like Maaser Sheni, or is it not? Says the Mishnah, kerem ravai, Beit Shammai omrim, ein lo chomesh ve'ein lo biur. Beit Shammai says has no chomesh, you don't add a chomesh, and you don't add biur. Ubeit Hillel omrim, yesh lo. Beit Hillel says, yes, there is chomesh and biur. Back to our chart. So, chomesh and biur, remember we said in Maaser Sheni, it has a chomesh and biur. Beit Shammai says, there is no chomesh and no biur. It is not like Maaser Sheni, meaning it's like Maaser Sheni, take it to Yerushalayim, but it's not exactly the same, and you don't have to add a 5th when you redeem it, and also, there's no requirement to get rid of it at the end of the 3rd year. Back to the Mishnah. Beit Shammai omrim yesh lo peret v'yesh lo olalot. Beit Shammai says that kerem ravai has peret and olalot. There are matnot aniyim, meaning if I drop neta ravai, or I drop kerem ravai, or there are olalot, right? Remember those special grapes that are unusual, then I have to leave them for the aniyim. So the aniyim come and collect it, but it's not a ravai, it's 4th year. Aniyim podim la'atzmam. So the aniyim can then redeem the fruit, take the kedusha off, and then the aniyim have to take that money to Yerushalayim. So there is peret and ololot. Beit Hillel omrim kulo lagat. Beit Hillel says no, all of it belongs to the balabait. You take all those grapes and you bring them to the gat, to the wine press. So back to our chart. Let's look at our chart. Beit Shammai says there is no chomesh and biur, okay, and yesh peret olalot. Beit Shammai says that neta ravai is mamon ba'alim. It belongs to the owner. So it's fundamentally different than Maaser Sheni. Maaser Sheni belongs to God. Says Beit Shammai, no. Kerem ravai or neta ravai is mamon ba'alim. It belongs to you, and you have to take it to Yerushalayim. So it has technical similarities to Maaser Sheni, but it's fundamentally different. Beit Hillel says no. They learn a gzeira shava from Maaser Sheni. It's called, remember we saw that verse of Kodesh Hilulim LaHashem. So Beit Hillel says, it says Kodesh with regard to Neta Ravai, and with regard to Maaser, it says Chol Maaser Haaretz Kodesh LaHashem. That's in Vayikra Chav Zayin. Did I bring you that pasuk of Vayikra Chav Zayin? No, I do not. Okay. Nonetheless, the word Kodesh appears in both. So Beit Hillel says there's a drasha and there's a gzeira shava from Maaser Sheni. So therefore, all the rules we see about Maaser Sheni are now, Beit Hillel says, applies to Neta Ravai. So just like Maaser Sheni's Mamon Gavoa belongs to God, and you can use it obviously, similarly here, it's Mamon Gavoa. The Aniyim have no portion in it. Therefore, for this reason, just like Maaser Sheni has Chomesh, Beit Hillel says Neta Ravai also has Chomesh and Biur. And just like Maaser Sheni, there's no peret and olalot. Why? Because remember, it belongs to God. You can't give it to the poor. Similarly, in Neta Ravai says Beit Hillel, kulo lagat. That's just what we saw. The whole thing goes to the gat. All of it goes to the wine press. There are no matnot aniyim because it's mamon gavoha. I want to dedicate this learning to the memory of my father. Let's see if I can find, where did I put that? I'll go to the top. My father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Okay, and also, if you have any questions or comments, rspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.